Tonight on Week 3 of the Fox 14 Press Box, the Joplin Eagles aim to stay undefeated, welcoming in the COC rival Webb City Cardinals. A pair of Big 8 heavyweights collide in Seneca, with the Indians hosting the Lamar Tigers. Only one leaves the field tonight undefeated. The Nevada Tigers try to stay perfect tonight on the road against McDonald County. On the Kansas side, another big matchup in the CNC with the Girard Trojans aiming for a 3-0 start against Galena. Pittsburgh aims for their first win of the season at home against former SEK rival Labette County. 2-0 for the first time since 2009, the Baxter Springs Lions try to stay perfect against Afton. And the Quapaw Wildcats, fresh off a big win over Galena, host their annual Native American game against the Northeast Vikings. This is the four states' only 30-minute high school football highlight show. This is Week 3 of the Fox 14 Press Box, and it starts right now.
Fox 14's Press Box is sponsored by Missouri Southern State University, Roper Kia, CDL Electric, and Kramer's Quality Meats of Grove.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Week 3 of Press Box here on Fox 14. Fox 14 Sports Director Jacob Leonard here beside me, like every week. You know who she is. She's Danny Terzer.
I'm really excited for this week. There's some huge games all across the area tonight, but we're going to start in Joplin. The Joplin Eagles host a big early season COC showdown with the Webb City Cardinals.
Joplin is 3-0 coming into the night with wins over Branson, Willard, and Ozark. They try to stay perfect this evening against the Webb City team that's 2-1 in their first 3 games. The Joplin defense great in the first half. Ball on the ground here. Blake Farmer jumps on it. He actually had 2 fumble recoveries in the first half. Second quarter, Quinn Renfro gives the Eagles their first lead. Scoots in from 16 yards away. At that point, Joplin up 7-2. Still in the second. Look at this run. Drew Van Gilder lost him for a second. But there he goes. Eventually breaks one final tackle. 73 yards for Van Gilder. Joplin goes to half leading 14-2. Here comes Webb City though. Brecken Gallardo down the far side for the 31-yard score. Just like that, Cardinals back within a touchdown. The next Joplin drive, 4th and 6. Hobbs Gooch, clutch throw here to Davin Thomas to move the chains. They get a field goal to push the lead to 17-8. Back to Joplin's defense, Cards with 4th and goal from the 2. The Eagles, though, stuff them again, led by Draven Van Gilder, then Van Gilder. Reminds me how many times they stopped Webb City in case I forgot. Then to add to it, late 4th, Bennett Dahl, interception for Joplin. I'm telling you, man, Eagles defense, tough tonight. For the 4th consecutive year, it's Joplin over Webb City. Final score 24-8. The Carthage Tigers lost a heartbreaker last week, falling to Nixa 22-21.
It was their first loss to Nixa in 7 years, and it snapped a 23-game regular season winning streak for Carthage. Tonight, the Tigers hit the road to Carl Junction, looking to rebound against the Bulldogs. First quarter, snap goes high. Braden Odell tries to recover, but Caden Bollinger runs it down into the end zone. 6-0 early lead for the Bulldogs. The Tigers, though, they regroup. Luke Gall on the far side runs it down for the touchdown. Kick's no good, but that's okay. Later, Gall finds a path through the center again. He'll get in for another touchdown. This time the kick is good. 15-9 Tigers. Carthage starts slow, but in the end they roll by the Bulldogs 48-12.
Well, in the Big 8, Lamar and Seneca are both off to hot starts this season. Both teams are 3-0, and really none of their games have been very close.
Lamar has pitched 3 straight shutouts to begin the season, outscoring their opponents 125-0. On the other side, Seneca has won their first 3 games by a combined score of 151-15. Those 2 teams meet tonight in Seneca, and only one will be leaving the field undefeated. Lamar comes out strong. Handoff goes to Ty Willite. He gets to the outside. 17 yards for the score. Next Tigers possession, Austin Wilkerson gets in from a few yards out. 14-0 Lamar. But momentum starts to shift in the second quarter. Joel Beshore keeps. Jackson Mars helps knock the ball loose. Blake Hearn jumps on it. Huge turnover for the Indians. They get the ball with a chance to tie it, and Gavin Hoover flips it to Mars on the far side. He powers through the Lamar defense and gets in the end zone. Extra point is missed, 14-13 Lamar at half. Third quarter off a punt, Lamar fumbles the snap. Seneca recovers in the end zone for a touchdown, and then Hoover hits Hagen Ginger for the 2-point conversion. Indians take their first lead. What a battle tonight. Seneca scores with a minute left to win 36-33.
Sometimes when we go into the week and we schedule what games we're going to, you think a game's going to be good, and I thought that one was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be that good.
It lived up to all of the excitement.
Staying in the Big 8, Mount Vernon Mountaineers, they're off to a 3-0 start this season after only winning one game last year. Now tonight, they do suffer their first loss, falling to Logan Rogersville 26-8. Mountaineers will try to rebound with a tough one next week at home against Nevada.
Turning now to Southeast Kansas, the Girard Trojans host the Galena Bulldogs tonight in a big CNC rivalry game.
Now, Girard is 2-0 in their first two games with wins against Columbus and Colgan. Galena 1-1, aiming to bounce back from a tough home loss to Quapaw, Oklahoma last week. Pick it up, start of the second half. Zane Turner for Galena takes it in for the touchdown. Tied game at 20. Turner feeling it. Girard looking to answer. Alex Kester. You knew he was going to show up in these highlights, right? Long run here, but he's short of the goal line. That's not going to stop Kester from punching it in. Check this out. After the play, the pickle juice working wonders. Girard on top then. Quarterback Luke Nigaman finds Caleb Scales on the deep ball before the end of the third. And that leads to this. Fourth quarter. Nigaman to Ethan Davidson down the middle. That extends the Girard lead. Trojans going to beat Galena tonight 41-20. The Columbus Titans, fresh off their first win of the season over Afton, Oklahoma, hit the road to Coffeyville tonight, facing Field Kinley. Look at this. It's the Golden Tornado winning 34-19 over the Titans. Field Kinley is now 3-0 to begin the season.
Parsons Vikings try to get to 3-0 this evening on the road against Iola. Another nice offensive night for Parsons. They win it 40-14. The Vikings try to remain unbeaten next week at home against Baxter Springs.
The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are off to an 0-2 start this season after falling to former SEK rival Chanute 28-13 last week.
Tonight, the Purple Dragons return home to face another former SEK rival in Labette County. The Grizzlies are also 0-2 coming into the night, so that means one of these teams is leaving with their first win of the year. Labette County's second drive of the game here, tied at 0. Kendall Holtzman throws it deep, places it perfectly. Trey Vincent scores. Grizzlies up early 6-0. Labette with the ball again later in the first. Jamal Jackson fumbles it. Purple Dragons recover. Now Pittsburgh looks to capitalize. Wyatt Rink punches it in, 7-6 Purple Dragons. And they extend their lead further here. Connor Profit refuses to go down. Tiptoes his way in along the sideline for 6. Pittsburgh goes on to win 28-20. It's the first win under head coach Josh Latimer for the Purple Dragons.
Now to Chanute, the Blue Comets host Tonganoxie tonight, trying to get to 3-0 this season. The Comets roll again in this one, final score 41-17. Chanute is back on the road next week facing Ulysses.
In the Tri-Valley League tonight, the Humboldt Cubs hit the field at home against Neodesha. Humboldt rolls in a shutout, 44-0. Cubs are now 3-0 to start the season, and they'll be on the road next week against Council Grove. That brings us to our first break here on Press Box. When we come back, the Nevada Tigers aim to stay unbeaten on the road against McDonald County.
And later, Baxter Springs has a chance to get to 3-0 on the road against Afton, and Quapaw hosts Northeast for their annual Native American game. We're going to have all that and more after this. The Nevada Tigers kind of destroying everybody so far this season. Nevada beat East Newton last week 68-0. They've outscored their first 3 opponents by a combined 150 points. Now the Tigers on the road tonight against Big 8 rival McDonald County, trying to stay hot and get to 4-0. First quarter, Isaac Bim on the receiving end for the Mustangs touchdown. McDonald County goes up 7-0. Second quarter, Nevada responds. Avius Stedman into the end zone for the Tigers. They are within one, but right before half, Destin Dowd, another good pass here. Dalton McClain, look at him, making the nice catch and the toe tap in the corner of the end zone. How about this? McDonald County hands Nevada its first loss tonight, 27-26. Another one in the Big 8 here, Cassville and East Newton. Cassville 2-1, trying to bounce back from a big loss to Seneca. That's what they did. It's the Wildcats winning tonight 35-0. Cassville hosts McDonald County next week.
The Neosho Wildcats are off to a 2-1 start this season. Last week, Neosho picked up a big win at home, pulling away from Carl Junction 55-29. The Wildcats try to make it back-to-back wins this evening, hitting the road to face Republic. Neosho down 35-13 at half, so they go with some trickery. The Tigers with an onside kick, and it's executed perfectly. Wildcats recover. In the very next play, Jared Seiler scores on a 47-yard touchdown. That makes it 35-20 Republic. The Tigers will score again, but back come the Wildcats. Quentin Hughes goes deep to Cade Kammerer. He beats his man for the touchdown. Republic wins this one 63-48. The Sarcoxy Bears put their perfect 3-0 record on the line tonight on the road against Stockton. The Bears end up on top 36-29. So Sarcoxy now 4-0 with a road game against St. Joseph Lafayette coming up next Friday.
The College Heights Cougars picked up their first win in program history last week, beating Greenfield 78-40. The College Heights, sitting at 1-2, has a chance to get back to 500 this evening on the road against Liberal. The Bulldogs are 2-1, fresh off a shutout win over Osceola. Early on, Logan Decker looking downfield. Throw, though, going to be picked off by Chase Ray. Later, College Heights with the ball. Decker connects with Caleb Quaddy for the first down. This time, Decker cuts, takes it in for the touchdown. At that point, it's 8-0 College Heights. To the other side now, Peyton Morrow takes the snap, runs down the sideline, steps out at about the 10. Then Morrow looking to throw it, but instead, just keep it, get in himself. That ties the game up at 8. To the second quarter now. Morrow, dude, just doing it all tonight. Breaks away from the defense. Home free for the touchdown. Liberal goes on to get the win at home, 54-38.
When we come back, the Quapaw Wildcats host their annual Native American game against Northeast. Plus, the Baxter Springs Lions try to get to 3-0 against Afton. First, though, here are a few more scores out of Southwest Missouri.
Well, this season has already been a memorable one for the Baxter Springs Lions. They won their season opener over Southeast to snap a 25-game losing streak. Then last week, Baxter beat Uniontown to get to 2-0 for the first time since 2009. And tonight, Lions are on the road against Afton, Oklahoma, looking to stay rolling and get to 3-0. Baxter already up 6-0 from the first half. Fourth quarter now, J.J. Miller keeps the snap. Carrying guys, he's down to the Baxter 12. Next play, Landon Johnson takes the handoff right through the defense, down to the 6. Then Noah Carson takes the Miller handoff, brought down at the 1. Lion defense not holding them there. Touchdown Afton. Miller calls his own number, punches it in. They would miss the extra point, so we're tied at 6. This game goes to overtime. Wasn't a great one for TV, I'm not going to lie to you. Final score, Baxter Springs stays perfect, 12-6. The Frontenac Raiders, 1-1 this season, coming off a shutout win over Riverton. They're on the road tonight trying to get over 500 against Bishop Ward. Frontenac grinds out a tough one, 12-10. The Raiders, a big-time game next week, coming home to face the Girard Trojans.
Tonight, Independence is coming off its first win under head coach Robert Henderson. Tonight, though, it's Fort Scott with a late call with a late Call Cousins touchdown, winning 21-20. Fort Scott returns home to face former SEK rival Pittsburgh next week, while Independence is at Field Kinley. To some Thursday night action in Southeast Kansas, Riverton on the road against Colgan in a matchup of two 1-1 teams. First quarter, Tucker Harrell throws it up. Colin Height wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. Colgan goes up 6-0. Still in the first, look at this run. Clayton Adamson for the Panthers going outside, nothing there, cuts back inside, only to go back outside, and then he's off. 65 yards for Adamson. That gets the Colgan lead to 12-0. Colgan's defense really strong in the first half. Harrell makes a play for the interception. Panthers get the ball in the second. Cooper Simmons, you knew he was going to show up in these highlights at some point. He gets loose, 26 yards for the score. Colgan starts to pull away. Back to that Panther defense now. It's Simmons getting the interception this time. Gets a nice return, takes it back into Riverton territory. Another turnover for Colgan, and they take advantage of it. Harrell floats it to the end zone. Connor Van Biesler is there for the touchdown. Colgan rolls over Riverton, 54-14.
Now my hometown, Yates Center, they've struggled a little bit to start the year. Try for their first win tonight at home against St. Paul, but it's the Indians cruising 66-18. St. Paul is now 2-1 to begin the season. They'll be on the road against Lebo next week.
It's time for our final break here on Press Box. When we come back, an interstate matchup tonight between the Northeast Vikings and Quapaw Wildcats, plus nominees for this week's Performance of the Week. As we go to the break, though, here are a few more scores from tonight's action in Southeast Kansas.
Welcome back to our final segment here on Press Box. We're going to Oklahoma now with an interstate matchup between the Quapaw Wildcats and Northeast Vikings.
Quapaw is off to a 2-0 start this season. Last week they got a huge road win, beating Galena 29-22. Tonight's game for Quapaw is the team's annual Native American game. Wildcats try to stay unbeaten against the winless Vikings. Third play of the game, Peyton Schapp takes the handoff from Jackson Derringer, finally pushed out at the Vikings 6-yard line. Next play, Derringer hands off to Kyle Forbes, bouncing all the way to the outside. 7-zip Quapaw. Northeast would go 3-and-out on their first possession. Next possession, Zane Stand takes the pitch, runs it all the way down the sideline. He's off to the house. 4 minutes into the game, it's already 14-0 Quapaw. Very next possession for the Wildcats, Seth Stan Johnson on the receiving end of this pass. He punches it in from the 24, 20-0 Wildcats at this point. Quapaw rolls in this one, 41-12 the final. We've got a couple more things to get to before we go. First, it's time for our nominees for the Performance of the Week.
We do this right here at the end of every show on Friday. We give you 3 options for the Performance of the Week. You go vote. And Monday, we'll announce who won this thing. So here are the nominees this week. First, Seneca Indians knock off the #1 team in the state, beating Lamar 36-33. Then, McDonald County High School, they hand Nevada their first loss of the season. Finally, the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons get their first win under head coach Josh Latimer. To vote, all you got to do is go to koamnewsnow.com/vote. Click on who you want to vote for, and that's it. We're going to keep this poll open until 9 p.m. on Sunday night. And then one more thing, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern both in action tomorrow. Both play at home. First up, Missouri Southern hosts Central Oklahoma at 5 p.m. The Lions aiming for back-to-back wins after going on the road and beating Northeastern State last week. And speaking of Northeastern State, the Riverhawks come to Pittsburgh tomorrow to face the Gorillas on Family Day for PSU. The Gorillas made the national rankings this week for the first time this season. sitting at number 16 with a 2-0 record. That one will get started at 7 p.m. at Carney Smith Stadium. Now, that's all of our time here tonight. If you missed anything, we'll have our highlights posted on the sports page on our website shortly. That is KOAMNewsNow.com.
You can also check out a complete replay of the show on Sunday afternoon at 12:30 on the 4-State CW. But for now, we're out of here. I'm Danny Terzer.
I'm Jacob Leonard. This has been Press Box on Fox 14. We still have 7 more Fridays of this show. But this one is over. We'll see you right back here next week.